This is Sheila from the hills of Virginia. Today I'm continuing. If any of y'all follow me, know that I put up a live chat video for better or for worse. And it's reference to Mr., because a lot of you know Mr. Those of you don't. My husband's name is Keith, but I call him Mr. So Mr. Used to be Mr. Wilson, but then I just cut it down to just Mr. But because he called me Dennis the Menace. But anyway, in saying that Mr. had a stroke, and I've had some people to rally together, some of my LJH. When I say LJH, is a school that we went to back in the big city, and it was put out on our homepage for the LJH group. And I had a dear friend, his sister and I used to be close friends, but he says, I could come up and build a ramp, because one of the other ones goes, Sheila, what do you need? Like, I need everything, you know. This wasn't expected, and it is what it is, and now we have to take each day that we can. Some of you maybe have had loved ones or people that you know that have had strokes. I'm not really taken care of or been around anyone that's had a stroke. But now Mr. has had a stroke. Not only did he have a stroke, he had a heart attack. But today, blessings. I had my friend come up with my neighbor. So I'm going to step out here and show you what he's on. And he doesn't live. He lives in the big city, and so he had to drive all the way up here. He drove up here one time just to kind of look at what he'll be kind of dealing with. I was at the rehab center that day, and then he came back up today with the materials and stuff. So I'm just going to peek out there, and I don't want to just be kind of hovering over him. I mean, I know they're in a hurry, and because he's got to get back to the bigger city, but I just kind of want to show you that the ramp is in process. So here we go. As you can see, they're getting the lumber off of the truck now, and I don't know what they're talking about. Guy talk, I guess. So they're going to build like a little platform, but it's going right here. Right here. It's kind of going to go out, and then it will turn. Let me see. Hold on a minute. Let me back out. It's going to go down the steps here, just a little out, then it's going to turn that way, a little platform, then go out in the grass so I can pull the car up. But this is them. We'll come back out a little later. Right now, like I said, they're just getting the wood off the truck, and then we'll be starting the process. My friend said it wasn't going to take long, but let me just show you some other stuff. Let's go back into the house. So and then, of course, Lily, scared me. You know Lily. There's Sammy. Lily, I had to put her in the gate. But I want to show you, I can't get through there. I had to block that off for Lily because we took the door off the hinges. But we took our bed down. Y'all remember the big bed? Then we had the drawers, which are right there, that were up under the bed. And I didn't have a place to put our other clothes and stuff. It's still a mess in here. I will straighten it out. There goes Lily. But the hospital bed, he has to come home, and the hospital bed's there. Got the sit-to-stand lift, which is really important because Mr. is so big that I will not be able to handle him by myself. So I also moved the buffet there. It was right here, so it would give us wheelchair room, you know, to get in. Of course, we get in there, wheelchair room. Again, we had to take the door off the hinges. I think that's 30 inches. So they said that it should fit. The rehab is or in the wheelchair. But I just had to put the buffet there until Mr. can start walking. Once he starts walking, then, it will be better. And there's Lily. Now, I know there was a lot of comments. There she is. Spoil rotten. Let me turn around and say this. I really need to clear this up because the day that I came in and I did the live video, I had posted that I was going to be on at 8 o'clock for the Better or Worse video. And maybe I'll try to remember to put a link down below if you haven't seen it that will tell you what happened to Mr. and the sequence. So I got home a little late. I think it was rainy that day, so everybody and their brother on the road is going very slow, and you know how it is when it rains, how people drive. So I got here late. Lily was in her pen there, and so I started the video, and I guess some of you were really concerned, like, poor puppy. Maybe I need to find her another home. Maybe that she needs attention. Let me say to you guys, I appreciate your concern, I really do, but that's not the case with Lily. It was just that particular night, and she's used to me coming in and loving on her and playing with her and stuff, but I knew I had to get online quick. Long story short, so I had to get up, as you'll see, and I had to put her in the bathroom in the back of the house. Of course, she could still hear her because she could still hear me. But normally during the day, in the mornings after I leave out to go to the rehab center to spend my time with Mr., because he wants me there every day, my son comes by here. He feeds her lunch because it's a puppy. Sammy only eats twice a day, but Lily eats 3 times a day. So he feeds Lily. He takes her out in the yard. He walks with her. He takes her down to one of his friends that has another dog, and they roughhouse it and play and run so he can get her exhausted. So when I come in, I don't have to be, spending a whole lot of time, because she just kind of wants to lay down at my feet. So I kind of want to clear that up for you guys that think that I neglect my dog. I don't neglect her at all. I'm an animal lover, and as you well know about Possum, who is over there, you can't see her. I had her for 23 years. I had my cockatiel for 27 years. I'm a good parent. And then, Sammy's got the little cancer on his rear end, so we're trying to deal with that as well. So I'm just saying, I kind of want to clear it up, because maybe, if I heard something like that, I was going, what's the matter with that woman? How come she's not taking care of her dog? That's just pitiful. I can't believe it. It's not. That was not the case. But anyhow, so let's get back. So they're building the ramp. So for those that probably have already dealt with the stroke patients, survivors, you watch the first video, like I said, Better or Worse, and then I have been running the roads about every day until now. I told Mr. that I'll be there every other day, due to the fact that I have to get my house ready for him to come home, and he's ready to come home. There's a lot involved. There's so much involved. I found the sit-to-stand lift on Marketplace. You go get those, they can run $1,500 on up. I can't do that. I was just blessed. God led me at the right timing to get it, and the guy cut off $100 more on it. So it was just a blessing, and it will help me get him out of the bed in a standing position, and then wheel him to the bathroom or to the wheelchair, or to a chair, a lot easier. And plus it will give him that opportunity not to be in bed all the time, but to be able to stand. And I talked to the therapist, and I told the therapist, I said, what my idea is like 2 or 3 times a day that I'm going to get him up and let him stand there for at least a minute. I don't want to tire him out. But guys, it's what I have looked at every YouTube video out there about stroke patients, the recovery. Everybody's different. Mr. was affected, he has a right side stroke, but it affected his left side and his motor skills. So his left leg and arm, people won't say paralyzed. He can feel everything. He just can't move it. So with the therapy, and then when he comes home, I'm really going to be working with him and standing. It's sending messages from the leg or the arm to the brain. It's kind of having to rewire everything. So, and repetition. I told Mr. I said, when you come home, you're not going to lay in that bed. We've got work to do because I want Mr. up. And his goal is, the main thing he said in the stroke class, when they asked him what is his goal even out of the therapy, the only thing that he said, I want to walk. So we're going to work on that. And but anyway, I've been preparing my house. I know that you can go through your insurance and they will put a hospital bed out here, but it's kind of like rent to own, so to speak, kind of, because after 13 months, I think you can rent it up to 13 months. Now, don't hold me to it, but then it's going to become your bed or something. Well, I found there's another blessing God just sent me to, is a gentleman had a hospital bed. It was only his wife was in it for like just a couple of weeks. She had cancer, and then she had to go back to the hospital, and of course she didn't come back home. So he was wanting to sell the bed, so I got that at a really very, very, very reasonable price. Somebody said, just God just sent these people or got me to look at Marketplace at the right time. So that's where I'm at. I was trying to think of something else. I've got to get, he's also a diabetic, so I'm having to, I told him, I said, Mister, one of those days before he came home, I'm going to make a humongous grocery haul because your eating has changed. Remember, he was Martha Stewart, and he fixed everything himself. I didn't know much about being a diabetic. I figured Mister had been a diabetic for a while, so he understood what he can eat and what he can't, and he wanted to do all the cooking. I didn't worry about it because I figured he's got enough sense to know what to fix. The only thing that I knew, and I was telling the therapist about it, the guys over therapy, I said the only thing I knew about being a diabetic is the worst case scenario is you go into a diabetic coma. That's all I knew about it, and you can't eat much sugar and stuff. Because there again, I've never really been around a diabetic. Mr. and I have been married 5 years. So I just, I didn't dive into it because he liked to do the cooking and stuff. And I figured he knew what he could eat, what he couldn't. But now I found out it doesn't matter about your blood pressure. I mean, it does, but hear me out. His blood pressure is fine, his sugar has been fine, his cholesterol has been fine, but being a diabetic and him not eating right, that can cause a stroke. I did not know that. I didn't know it. So I told him, I said, when you come home, the whole way of eating is going to be completely different. You might not like the foods because you're so used to fixing stuff yourself and only the things that you like. Well, now you're going to have to learn to like things that you didn't normally eat, but we're going to do this together. So anyway, I kind of want to give you an update as to I'm home today. I go tomorrow to see him. Tomorrow is Easter. I go tomorrow and see him, and I don't know. I want to take him something for Easter. I don't know what, but then he'll only be there just maybe a few more days. Well, actually, the following Saturday, I will be there a few more days. 3 times next week. The last time is to pick him up and bring him home. He understands that. He understands the preparation that is involved. And guys, preparation means a lot. You can't wait to the last minute. You want a smooth transition, especially if they're coming home. They're dealing with a lot of emotions. They're dealing with depression. Are they going to walk again? Are they going to be able to use their hands again? Sometimes it alters their personality. Their cognitive thinking is not right. It takes a while for everything to kind of rewire. And I don't know how long it's going to take because everybody's different. But you want to make it as smooth a transition as you possibly can. So instead of me going and getting them and pulling up and going, how am I going to get them up them steps? You know, if I had a wheelchair, I mean, up those steps, I don't trust myself. So those things like a ramp, I think if you know, if they can't stand or anything, if you can get a sit to stand lift, it will make life easier. I bought a shower chair. I've got a walker, but that's for in the future because I believe he's going to walk. And so he'll go from, you make a progress from a wheelchair to then a walker, and then with a cane, and then hey, he might be running around the house. So anyway, I love my mister, and he's got me, and I got him, and I got y'all. But remember the transition. You want to make it smooth. I found out that you don't want to talk fast either, because them trying to process what you're saying sometimes is difficult. So they end up looking at you like a deer caught in headlights. Don't be offended. Don't take it personal. They're just having trouble processing what you're saying. You talk really slow and, you know, very carefully, very slow. Try to condense your story until they're able to process things. Mr. says very few words back. I know that's just part of it right now. And as he heals, that will get better. And we'll be able to carry on conversations. But anyway, well, let me get off of here. I'm going to go peek on them. We'll go back out in just a little bit. I've still got to kind of get some things cleaned up here. I do want to say I appreciate all of y'all that wrote me in the comments on For Better or Worse. Really touched my heart to know I have friends that care about Mr. and I, and it just means the world. You are my friends. For you that are first time visiting my channel, maybe you're just curious, because I'm sure I'm going to put on the title handicap ramps or stroke victims or something, you know, with the words. Maybe they will say, hey, had to do something with a stroke. Maybe that's why you are watching. I want to be an encouragement to you, as I'm trying to be encouragement to me. And you've got to keep that positive attitude no matter what you see. I've just seen so many videos where, I mean, way a lot worse than Mr. and was able to eventually walk, use their hands. So we're going to go through this process together. There's going to be other videos. Some of you, first time, like I said, watching, go back, check out my channel, and be a part of our family. And that'd be like and subscribe and share. Share. I would appreciate it. But anyway, let me get off of here. I've still got some little things that, since we moved furniture around, everything's disarrayed. I need to kind of pull it together and then rest my bones a minute. But anyway, I'll see y'all back in just a minute. Okay, guys, we're back out. This is how far they've come along.
Not clutching out like it should, I don't think.
No.
It's kind of split right there. Yeah, real split, dude. Best you can do is split like that.
Hey guys, it's another day. I can't remember exactly when I filmed the last. It might have been last Saturday. I think it was them putting the ramp together. Today is Tuesday. Is it? No, it's Wednesday. all my days are running together. So I kind of want to chime back in and talk to you guys. I know I haven't been on, excuse me, I got to get the position right. I know I haven't been on since the time I posted about For Better or Worse when Mr. had the stroke and the heart attack. I have been so busy, and I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys, and maybe some of you have been through this and you can relate. Some of you might have some advice to give me and say, Sheila, maybe, you know, have you tried this or to do that, to simplify things? Whatever the case may be, all I can say is that I know Mr. needs prayer and I need prayer. Anyway, today, the reason I'm home, I've told Mr., I said last week, I said, okay, it started Saturday. I said, I'm going to be coming every other day. And the reason being because Monday I had to go and I picked up a Jazzy. And I'll show you, if some of you that do not know what a Jazzy is, I'll show it to you in a minute and I'll tell you why I got it. I went, see, I can't. Monday, Sunday, I went Sunday, stayed home Monday. I went yesterday to go see Mr. At the rehab center. And of course he misses me tremendously and I hate not being there. And I'm trying not to feel guilty about not being there because I'm having to take care of some things. So today the hospital bed came and I'll show you that as well. So I've been along the way, I have been trying to prepare for Mr. to come home. He was in the hospital for a week, which he didn't get any therapy or anything for a solid week because he had the heart attack about an hour and a half, somewhere give or take, after he had the stroke. And so it was a blood pressure issue and they didn't want the blood pressure to go up, but he needed some blood pressure because of the medicine, the clot buster thing that they gave him. But I probably already told you this. But anyway, long story short, he was there in the hospital for weeks. They finally transferred him over to a rehab center. And for the first few days, the schedule was off, so he still didn't get any rehab. He got speech therapy. And you go, why speech therapy? Well, because the left side, his mouth was drawn, and he had trouble swallowing, and so they give him fluid, they have to thicken it and stuff. Anyhow, in that process, I knew that Mr. would be coming home. I didn't know when because they extended out another week, and then they had another meeting, and then they extended out another 3 days. So he's coming home this coming Saturday. Remember, today is Wednesday. So it gives me a couple of days, like today, like I said, the bed was delivered. I talked to the caseworker yesterday. You'll be given a caseworker. If any of you that kind of, you know, like, well, how does this work? Well, once he goes in, he has OT, occupational therapy, which is the upper side. Then he has PT, which is the lower, you know, from like waist down. And then he has speech therapy. And each one of them are supposed to be about an hour each. So he's been now in the last week, really, they're working him in every which way that they can because of the setback when he first got there of not getting therapy. Am I pleased with that at the time? No, because I think that possibly, we don't know, but possibly he would have been a little further along. Anyway, I just want to, it's like my mind's going everywhere. It's like I don't really know where to start as to, because my mind is in a whirlwind. So anyway, so yesterday, let me go down yesterday. yesterday when I went, they have where they take the patient, Mr., and then they take me, the caregiver, and I had to go through each one. I did it one time before, but they wanted to go through it again to where I'm back there when he's doing therapy, that the occupational therapist can tell me, these are the things that we're working on, these are the things that you can do, la la la. The PT therapy, okay, this is the things that we're working on, this is the things that you can do when he goes home, and then we'll have some people coming out to your house to also help him do therapy. And as I began telling them my story, and now the speech therapist, so I'm going to talk to her and about his cognitive thinking and things that I have noticed with that. So anyway, how they pick him up in the hospital, well, they're trying to teach him on the PT side a slide board. I'll show it to you in a little bit, as for him to try to slide from the bed into the wheelchair, or from the wheelchair to the bed, or wherever he's sliding to. Anyway, they were going over that with me and how to get him in and out, because they've got this little car. It's not really a car, but it looks kind of like a car. So when they leave, that they know that you, the caregiver, can be able to maneuver him, help him maneuver from the wheelchair to the car, and then when he gets home, from the car to the wheelchair, be able to bring him in. Well, I know that when they are in the room, a lot of times they will go and get, it's called a sit to stand lift, and that lifts him up. It's a harness, and I'll show you that, and that lifts him up to where a standing position, and they can just roll him, like if you got to go to the toilet or wherever, put him in a wheelchair or wherever. And anyway, I go, you know what, I need one of those. And I'm just saying to you guys that are out there, if you know, we're all on a fixed budget as far as seniors, and we're on a fixed budget, but I went on Marketplace and I found one, and talking to the guy, telling my situation, he came $100 off of it. Those things, what I've seen, the one that I've got is running about $1,600. That's a lot of money. But I knew when I got him home, it would be so much easier for me as a caregiver if I had that. So I purchased it. Then I also found hospital bed. Now, some people, Sheila, your insurance cover a hospital bed. Well, with Mr's condition right now, that I'm looking long term, and of course they said that he needed a hospital bed. He still can't move his left side, and he has trouble speaking and stuff, but he's speaking a lot better than he was, but still there's some issues, little issues there. So I looked on Marketplace again, and I found this a hospital bed that I went ahead and purchased. Now, I'm here today at home because the guy brought the hospital bed out. And it raises up the front, you know, you go back and forth, the feet go up and down, and the bed goes up and down. Also, it's got a bar that he threw in, so Mr. is having to use it. He's left-handed, so this is out of commission, so he can pull up with his right hand this little trapeze holder, lifter, what, I don't know, what do you call it? Helps him move. He can help himself move. So that was delivered today. Then I also got Mr. And when I'm telling you this, guys, don't think, well, man, y'all are just loaded with money, be able to do all that. There's certain things that our insurance would not pay, and one was a lift to stand, okay? So I went ahead and purchased that. I will tell you it's about $1,600, and I gave less than half, way less than half. Let me put it that way. The bed, I gave less than what if they brought a hospital bed out. I think you like rent it or something for like 13 months, and then it's like ends up being yours or whatever. So I know he's going to be in it a while, so I went ahead and got this, because still it would have been less than what I would be renting it for. So God bless. I mean, God knew, and God blessed me and Mr. with these things. The third thing is the Jazzy, as I mentioned earlier. I got the Jazzy, and the lead therapist knew when I said Jazzy exactly what it was. Some of you don't. Some of you, if I said a hover round, you will know, oh, it's that like little scooter. It's not really a scooter. It's like a electrical wheelchair, so to speak. Now, I will tell you this, what I gave for it. Those things run around, the one that I got, like 3,000 some odd dollars. I only paid $200 for it. Yes, we're tight on money, but this is why, if you can, just depending on your situation, and for mine, is that Mr., as you know, has always been he would always go outside. I said, where are you going? I'm going outside to piddle. He'd be piddling all day doing stuff. He loves the outside, and if he didn't have anything to piddle on, he would just sit out there in the chair on the front porch and bask in the sun and just listen to the birds, and he just loves being outside. So, Mr. is also the Martha Stewart. Well, he's having to retire that Martha Stewart for a while because I'm going to have to take over that. And I don't mind because also Mr. was a diabetic and he's been eating all the wrong foods. And I didn't know about being a diabetic. All I knew, the worst case scenario, and I might have already said this, and please just bear with me if I've already said this prior to me saying it now, but I thought worst case scenario, if they sugar wasn't right, they'd go maybe in a diabetic coma. Maybe some of you just say, well, that's what I know. I didn't realize that even if your blood pressure is good or your cholesterol looks like it's great or any of those, because my numbers are the ones that are way off, because of the way he was eating, can cause him to have a stroke, per the diabetic doctor. And I did not know that. I did not know that. So, that being said, is that I told Mr. I've looked on the YouTube for every stroke YouTube video that's out there, learning lots from the different kinds of strokes or different parts of the body that it's affected, and therapy. You name it. I try to educate myself as much as possible. The same token on being a diabetic and the foods that he can eat and he can't eat. And I told Mr., I said, well, when you come home, Mr., it's not going to be the same foods. Now, your taste buds are going to have to acquire the taste because, I'm sorry, we're not eating what you used to fix. And, he kind of, he shook his head, yeah. I said, I don't want anything to happen to Mr. I said, if I'm feeding you the wrong foods and something happened to you, I would take on that weight and feel like it was because I wasn't fixing the right foods. I wasn't doing what I needed to do to say, oh, well, it's okay for you to have this. Oh, go ahead and have that piece of cake. Oh, last week you had a little bit of candy. It's okay now. No. I told Mr. I said, it's going to be strict, strict, strict. And I said, I'll probably end up being called a nurse Ratchet. Is it Ratchet? One of them. Ratchet, Hatchet, something. But anyway, that one. Now, in saying that, getting back to the Jazzy, because Mr. was so independent, this is really, as when I was in the accident, and I have a video on that, my testimony, and maybe if I can remember, I don't know, my mind just ain't been right since all this has happened, but it's taken the wind out of his sails. He still can't use his left hand and his left arm. I mean, look at there, see, my mind, y'all pray for me in my mind. His left arm and his left leg. So I bought the Jazzy because I felt this would give him a little bit of independence, that he wouldn't have to wait for me to push the wheelchair, though we're still getting a wheelchair for doctor's appointments and things like that when we need to go somewhere, that I can pack it up, fold it up, put it in the car, and for us to go where we need to go. But I got the Jazzy for $200, though I had to buy the batteries for it. They're supposed to be coming in today. It's hardly ever been used at all. The guy just wanted it out of his garage. It was just in the way, so he made it just as cheap as possible so somebody would snap it up. Well, God showed me that Jazzy on Marketplace. I text immediately, and so my son took me Monday, and we got the Jazzy. This will give, again, Mr. some independence, so once I can get him, say, the lift to stand, or put him in on the Jazzy, that he can operate it, and he can go in the house, gives him that independence, because like I said, I can push him, but also he can use the wheelchair, but he's only got the one arm, and he has to operate it also with the right foot, and he's kind of going crooked and going everywhere, though that's some good exercise. But I said, this can get him around from the bedroom to here in the living room and to the dining room and to the kitchen. And I just want him to feel independence, because it's a bad thing when you feel like we take things for granted. Let me back up. We just take, as I did when I was in the accident, and I told Mr., I said, Mr., if anybody understands, I understand. I didn't have a stroke, but all four of my extremities, I couldn't do nothing. I could do nothing for myself. I couldn't brush my teeth, though he can do that. I couldn't use the bathroom and take care of things, if you know what I mean. I couldn't do that. I mean, I couldn't read a book. I couldn't flip a page. I sat there or laid there in my hospital bed. So I said, I understand. It's a battle, and he's already had the stroke, and his brain is trying to rewire. But not on top of that is just the independence, the things that he ponders on. And, I just want him to know that you can do this. I also ordered, per the therapist, an ES machine, like an electrical stimulation. It's not an electrical stim, but a stimulation machine that they referred me to. And so I ordered that. That should be coming in. And so yesterday, it was an hour, like I said, PT, OT, and speech. Teaching him exercises, again, for his tongue, to swallow this and that. And then the upper extremity, and they put the ES on his arm. And it's repetition, and it's waking up those muscles again, because your brain is having to rewire. And it's saying, brain, look at here. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So don't give up on anybody. And when I went in yesterday, no pats on my back, but everything they were saying, I said, I got this, and I got that, and I got that. And they were very amazed, because they said a lot of times patients go home and the caregiver just waits for an occupational therapist or a physical therapist to come out. Then that's when they do the exercise and this and that. I told Mr., I said, no sir, no ma'am, nuh-uh. I said, when you get home, I'm going to have, and I talked to them about it. They said, man, if people are more like you, Sheila, and you have gone ahead, you've thought way ahead, well, that's just the way that I am. The Bible says, count the cost. So I want Mr. up and walking. I want Mr. to use his arm. I want Mr. to have his independence. I don't know how long it's going to take, but if I stay on it, and if I put the ES stem on him, and they said I could have it on all night if I wanted to. I mean, if Mr. can tolerate, because it's sending, it's repetition, it's sending signals to the brain. And that's what we want to do. Not only that, the independence with the Jazzy, and for him to get around. I also got one of those little, the things that you can squeeze with your hands. Got a long pole, and you pick stuff off the ground, whatever. We have that, so that way, I said I could put all the plastic glasses. They said for me, because the plastic glasses or cups are so lightweight, because I thought, well, he can reach up and get him a glass. I said plastic, so in case if it slipped out, it wouldn't break. But they said they needed something a little bit heavier, or because I thought then he could wheel over to the refrigerator, pull the refrigerator open, get it, and pour some drink. Well, most of the time, as we know, when we pour a drink, we hold it with our hand and pour the other. So they recommended get a cup holder for the Jazzy. So I'm going to be looking for that today. So that way when he gets the cup out, he can put the cup in the cup holder, which holds it, and then he can pour the drink. And I said, wow, I mean, it's something so simple, but it's something so important, that smallest of things that will help him and help him with his independence. I told him that. I said, once you start getting movement in your hand, maybe you can help me, because I saw it on one of the YouTube videos. A gentleman had a stroke, and he said once he got feeling in his hands where he can move and stuff and kind of pinch, that he would unload the dishwasher. So I said that to Mr. I said, Mister, when you start getting movement in your arm and your hand, I said, you can help me unload. I said, if it's just from the dishwasher, set it up on the counter. Then I'll put them up in the cabinet. And the guy said the first time that he did it took him an hour. And I told Mr. that. I said, but that's repetition and that's good exercise. And I'm going to stand him up in the sit to stand. And we're going to learn our balance going back and forth. I'm going to have the electrical stem on his thigh. Also to strengthen, like doing squats and then kind of coming back up, doing squats and coming back up. I said, we're going to do that 4 or 5 times a day. And I said, and also, you're not going to lay in bed and eat. Though they do that at the hospital, now some point except when he goes to speech therapy, but 9 times out of 10, they bring his food to the room. I said, no sir, no ma'am. We're going to get into the wheelchair, because I can push that up under the table, and we're going to have our breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the table. I want to give him quality of life. I want to make sure that Mr. is at home and that he's vitally important, because even yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, they go through, as I did too, that's why I said I understand, they go through depression. He's fighting depression. You have to let them know that though it's still worth a lot, yes, this is only temporary. We're going to do a lot of hard work, but we've seen so many cases that was worse than Mr. and they're up walking and moving their arms. They still might be weak, but they're using it. And I said, it's you and me, pal. We're a team, and this is what we're going to do. And you got me, and me is not going to let you sit in the bed and do nothing. I said, while you're in the bed, we're going to take your good hand, and we're going to work. We're going to do, doing your hands back and forth, back and forth. I said, it's sending signals to the brain, mister. So he said, okay. And then yesterday he said, which hurt my heart, he said, I'm sorry you're going to have to take an infant home. I said, shut your mouth. I said, don't you talk to me like that. You are my husband. They're going to say things like that because they feel useless and worthless. What is their quality of life? And we have to encourage them and let them know this is a temporary setback. I don't know how big a setback it is. And I told Mr. I said, it depends on you. But I'm going to push you. Sometimes we need to nudge that one. I said, and they said they all plateau. And he said, and when you plateau, this is many of them on YouTube, he said, then you give it 110%. I constantly let Mr. know these things. And I said, and I come in sometimes, he goes, it's hard. I said, we knew it was going to be hard, but you can do it. You can do it. I said, we got things to go. We got people to see and places to go. I said, so we're going to work together on this. Excuse me. Blowing bubbles. Well, so yesterday, and I tried to hold my wits about me, and I started losing it. I said, here I go again. Dadgummit. Yes, I have had the opportunity, but somebody's got to stay strong. And I have my moments as a caregiver, and because he's my husband and what I saw him do before and where he is now, it hurts my heart. And the therapist looked at me, she said, Sheila, she said, there are organizations out there for stroke caregivers and stroke patients. And she says, and you need that. And she says, what I see in you, because, this will be bubbling up. It's like when you start that waterworks, I'm trying to turn it off just as fast as I can. But sometimes it still wants to trickle through. If it's nothing but that little slow drip, drip, drip. And she told me yesterday, she said, what I see in you she says, right now, and everything she said, you know, and people were talking about it. I mean, about every one of the therapists, they go, yeah, I heard you got this, you got that, and you know, and that's great. And they were just surprised because most people don't. And that's why I'm going to stir up you. If you got somebody's having a stroke or had a stroke, don't stop. Think ahead. Think, what can I do as a caregiver? And though it's hard on you and it's hard on me, but to make it better and to work with them and to do the repetitions and whatever you can afford. I mean, it's just little things. If it's nothing but putting pinto beans, when they start moving their hands, putting pinto beans or some kind of dry bean in Play-Doh and let them work it with their hand and try to find all those beans and pinch it and pull it out. Just little things. Use what you got. Anyway, she said, Sheila, she said, you've done all this. She says, you have thought way ahead. And she applauded. She said, and I applaud you for that. And she goes, there's so many, as I said before, she said, they just take them home and they just wait for the therapist to come out for the 30 minutes or whatever. She said, but, you know, that what she saw in me was kind of like seldom and far between. That's why I'm also saying this to you, is that whatever you can do, don't wait on the therapist. They're going to show you and help you even more. But do what you can to help your loved one. Encourage them. But she said, right now, Sheila, she says, you're in survival mode. And that thing hit me. It hit me in my heart. I said, don't you make me cry. She said, you need to. I haven't broke down like that. I don't know if I want to. She says it's healthy for me. I don't know if it is or not. I always tell people I don't like to cry because then it makes my head hurt and makes my eyes all swelled up and gives me a headache. And I fight it all the time, but maybe I do. Maybe I just need to put my head in the pillow, put my head, press it in there, and just yell and scream and cry. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know. I just know I gotta be in my wits. I gotta be in my right mind. I gotta be there. I gotta be strong for my mister. Okay, enough about that. So right now, I want to show you the Jazzy. So let me take you off the grandstand. And let's go see the Jazzy. Now, guys, my house looks horrible. But this is the Jazzy. You know, we moved some furniture. I think I've already showed you that. And the guy brought some pads and stuff. They've already been washed and they're reusable. But this is it. And see, the controller's on the right-hand side. So, and these things are adjustable. I might have already shown you this. I don't know. I see in my mind, I can't remember what I've done, what I haven't done. But this, he's got room, as you can see, to get around. And I moved the table over, and then put the dog in there, but I'll move that. But when he comes home, he'll come home in through the front door. I had the neighbor to come up. Let me walk out here and show you this real quick. I think I began showing you the ramp as it was being built for one of our dear friends, but it's finished now, so I want to come out here and show you so I can bring Mr. home. I also told him that Saturday that I had to stay home because I had to be here for them as they are building the ramp. I don't know how long this ramp is going to be up. I don't know. Maybe it'll be up, maybe it'll stay up. I don't know. But the end down there is finished. I told him what I want to do here is that I'm going to have some steps here so other people can just come up the walkway and just walk up the steps. And then this is Mr. even with his little Jazzy, perhaps he can wheel himself out here. And then they went a step further and put this here. So this little platform so I can get Mr. Sorry, my whatever it says, my maximum time of recording had reached its limits, but I just stopped it and restarted it. But this is the platform to get him in the house. Now, So that was last Saturday with the ramp. Like I said, it's been every other day. I went Sunday for Easter. I went in and started singing Here Comes Peter Cottontail. He got a laugh out of that. And I was even hopping. Can you imagine that? I bet y'all said, well, you should have recorded that one. Well, anyway, so see, all this has been moved. I took the door off the hinges, which I've probably already recorded. I've got to take up this mat rug because, you know, we don't want any tripping or anything over that. But this was what was brought today, and it was put together. He's got his slide board there as well. And this is what I was talking about, to help him pull himself up in the bed. You know, it raises up. It's like a regular hospital. It is. It's a hospital bed. The railing on the other side is down, and I just pulled that one up. But also, it will have room for me to take him, and I got to move all these rugs, take him in there he can have a shower. Like I said, my house is dirty. I got to clean up. And then there's a shower chair. These things are so important, and maybe your insurance will cover a lot of it. But some, like this, mine doesn't cover. So here's the harness that you put around them. Anyway, and it's electrical, which is good. It's not a pump. So once, you know, he puts his feet in this and puts his shins up against this, and this thing starts raising up. And it pulls him up to where he's in a standing position. And then I can scoot him, you know, to the bathroom, take a shower, in the chairs, on the Jazzy. Anyway, but like I said, my house, whew, I got to do something. I've also got to make a grocery haul. I've been sleeping on the sofa, guys. I'm not sure where I'm going to sleep because we took down our big bed. So it's kind of like, where are you going to sleep now, Sheila? I said, well, if I have to put you back on the grandstands, if I have to make a pallet, I'll do it. Whatever it takes. Some said, you know, maybe you get a twin bed. Maybe I'll get a cot. I don't know. For the first month or so, depending on how he's doing, I want to be close to him because until he can start getting some use. Now, I know y'all hear Lily. She's barking at the cats. I know some of you were upset. My dog is not neglected, believe me. And then, of course, when I'm home, oh, she sees me in here, too. She wants to come in. I put her outside so she can go poop. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video. I'm going to try to make another one when he comes home Saturday. And I will have a banner up if I can have time to do that. I probably do have the time. It's just that I got to get my mind organized. Because, guys, I'm tired. It's about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, depending on traffic. Every day I was going an hour and a half to 45 minutes one way. I was traveling every day, and I was just wore out. So I'm trying to... You need to stop. She hears me talking. But she's okay. Sun's shining. Don't y'all write me and go, that poor dog, you need to find him a new home. Stop. That dog's okay. You just didn't know the whole story. That's all. But anyway, I've got to make my, talking about a diabetic, I've got to make my list or I do the Walmart thing. You order online, you just got to go pick it up. And I'll be picking it up on Friday. And so I guess I'll start going ahead now because I've been trying to put recipes together. I want to try to get some crock pot diabetic meals. So when, you know, the first few weeks or so, I'm going to be so busy with him. It's got to be get into a routine. I don't know what that routine is right now. You know, I know if I have to write it down and we make a schedule for every single day. I think that the outside therapy is starting Monday. They want to do it Sunday. I said, well, he's getting home Saturday. I said, can he just not have one day, you know, to kind of come home and kind of get acclimated and just enjoy the house just one day? I mean, I'll be doing exercises with him, you know, but then start Monday. And she started laughing. She goes, yeah, I think that'll be fine. So they're due out here Monday. And I don't know if I'm going to show Mr. I know that he's got a lot of pride, but I have to talk it over with him. But if not, then I will tell you what we're doing or the therapy. I want to keep you abreast as to his, whether or not he starts moving his leg, moving his foot, moving his hand, or whatever it might be. I just want to be an encouragement to you guys. And, I kind of got caught with my drawers down, if you know what I mean. You don't expect that. Mr. and I had a lot of plans. We were going to get chickens. We were going to plant the garden. Going to be canning this summer. The dandelions are out. I was going to be picking those and making dandelion jelly, which now I know he won't be able to eat because it's got sugar in it. You put sugar in it to make your jelly. So I was going, well, so much for that. But you can do dandelion tea, which is good for you. So I've got to look for all the nutritional things that I can. I've got to see what I can do as well. And then maybe like the therapist says, well, Sheila, you got to have time for you. You got to have some downtime. I said, well, I'll get it. Because like I said, if I push Mr. out on the deck, because he knows I like to mow. Y'all know I like to mow. And I said, I'll put him out there with his tea, his radio, whatever, which I probably already said that. Seemed like I have said that. And I said, and I'll mow the front yard. Then I'll put him in the back when I mow the backyard. But I said, and if he needs something, all he's got to do is just do his hand like that, because I'll constantly be looking up here, and I'll stop what I'm doing if he's got to use the bathroom or whatever it is, until he gets to that point that he can do some of this stuff. Well, anyway, y'all pray for me and Mr. and for, where's your faith, Sheila? I have faith. Come forth, Lazarus. Come forth. Speak to those legs. Come forth. I don't want to be like Mary or Martha, go, well, if you had been here, if you had only done this, he wouldn't have been dead, or he would have been moving now. He's given us authority, and I have a lot of people praying for him, and I'm not discouraged. I'm not discouraged because maybe I don't see anything right now. I'm not discouraged in that at all. I just know that the Lord is faithful, and I call Mr.'s limbs to come forth, meaning to be used. Now, if it's wrapped up or it feels like it's dead, he can't do anything. As Jesus spoke to Lazarus, he just stood there and told him to come forth. And I've already put that on that. You can watch that on For Better or Worse. I don't know what I'm going to name this one. Who knows? Anyway, let me get off of here. I'm going to start making my grocery list. Can't wait till the last minute on things. I've got all of that. I feel good about that, but I've got little things to do like dusting and mopping and vacuuming and those little things like that. And I'm washing some clothes now. Mr. has some clothes that I brought home yesterday that I always try to keep his clothes clean, taking it to the rehab. But praise the Lord, today is Wednesday. I go tomorrow, Thursday, like I said. Friday I'm home, getting the last minute things, the grocery haul, and I've got to get an abundance of groceries because I don't know when I'm going to be able to go back again, or I could get my son I can order it and he can pick it up for me. But I've got to do that Friday. I kind of wanted to wait till Friday. He comes home Saturday because, if there's vegetables, not canned stuff, I didn't want to do it, Sunday or whenever, and then it'd be in there a whole week and going bad. So anyway, that's why I'm waiting till Friday. Okay, I think I've talked enough. I just need you, my friends. I appreciate you. Some of you have just wrote such kind comments. I think I've gotten most of them. I think there's 2 or 3 that I haven't gotten to, and maybe I'll sit here and do that. First, I've got to do my grocery list. While that's just, it's on my brain, it's on the burner right now, I need to get that a-cooking and get that, start ordering that stuff. So that way I have a couple of days. You know how it is. You do your grocery and you go, oh, doggone it, I forgot such and such. And so I want to give me that time as I'm selling out, oh, yeah, and I need that, and I need this, and what about, so-and-so. Our whole diet is going to change, and I got to read everything. You realize everything's got salt or sugar in it. It's amazing, because like I said, I didn't know about diabetic. Mr.'s, he's been a diabetic for years, so he was Martha Stewart, and I figure if anybody knew, he knew what he was supposed to eat and what he wasn't supposed to eat, and I never checked the labels. Well, now I do, because now they might be putting crickets in it. Who knows? But, okay. Bioengineered, don't want that. Processed, don't want that. So, whew, it's going to take me a couple of days to try to figure out what I'm going to do with this. If y'all can think of anything, let me know. Now, don't get upset if I don't get back jiffy quick with a comment. Some of you have been waiting a week or so. I'm so sorry, but my plate has been full. I mean full. And it's like the little piece of corn is getting ready to fall off the plate. That's how full it is. It's like I got to keep it back on there because I got to keep organized. I got to keep it together, Sheila. Don't lose it. You got to keep it together. We got to do this. You know what I mean? Pray for me. Pray for my strength. Pray for my health as I pray daily. God, strengthen me. When I'm weak, you are strong. Father, I pray that I walk in divine health. Sometimes we just take that so lightly, don't we? Divine health means a lot. I used to hear my grandparents said, the most important thing on this world is not so much as money or anything, that you stay healthy. Wow, boy, did it smack me in the face on March the 7th. But just pray for strength for me. Pray for Mr. A miracle. Quick, fast delivery. Those limbs will be moving. And that way we can put Mr. Not unless he says it's okay, put Mr. back in. Or you know what, or maybe he can sit here. Maybe we can do that. I'll talk to him. I don't think he'll mind too much as long as, he's not moving. He's just sitting here and he can talk and y'all can ask him questions, right? I think that'll be good. But let me run it by him first. All right, I got to get off here. I've got things I got to do. But I didn't forget you, and I wanted to put this video up to let you know I haven't forgotten you guys. Please have my back on this. Please have my back. Remember that I love you, but Jesus loves you more. Come on, let's say it together. You're blessed in the city. You're blessed in the field. You're blessed when you come, and you're blessed when you go. In Jesus' name. Until the next video, and hopefully with Mr. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.